I haven't quite thought of an order yet or anything. Yeah.
I've been on hiatus. A lot of it was born out of frustration from my very unrealistic expectations that I was bringing to music. I think I wanted people to know who I was. I wanted success. And that wasn't happening. My dad died, I lost a job, relationship ended, all these hard things were happening, and then a friend of mine asked me to open a show. It was like a week or two after all these things had kind of happened. And so I got my guitar out and went and did this thing, and it was like atrocious. And I had several friends there who were like pumped to see me play because it had been so many years, and it was just terrible. But for some reason, I just kept playing. And within a couple months, it was like, I think I'll sell my house and make a record.
If for the very first line, sing to me the very first line.
Wondering where my heart is gonna stay.
Can you, just for the first line, can you make it so that wondering where my heart is gonna stay, like the stay being on the downbeat?
Okay. So, wondering where my heart is gonna stay.
Yeah. Yep.
The phrasing of gonna is okay?
Yeah.
Wondering where my heart is gonna stay. Now that I done gone and gave it away.
I had these songs that were sitting around and in a way like maturing on their own. I don't really remember touching these songs for several years, and somehow they just seemed to get better. I don't know, it's like every time I would play it or listen to a demo that I had made years back, it sounded better each time. But I certainly didn't have a band in mind. It was kind of like, I'm a songwriter, this is all it'll ever be.
My heart's been waiting like that winter stormy train. Don't leave me standing up to my knees in that snow, 'cause I've gotta get back home to you.
As I started to play with Ross, he sort of brought some nice guitar work to it, sort of turned it up a notch in terms of energy. Had these kind of cool, like, rock solos. Organ solos and people shredding on a telly. And that is so far from what I ever imagined my music being.
You're like my first cigarette. One I'll always regret.
I could have written a song many years ago before I was a therapist, but the way I play it now is different.
Up like the silver screen.
Certainly the way I write music now, I think I'm comfortable with like paradox and contradiction because that's what being a human is.
One always,
It's a little loud.
one always regret.
And then you can play the actual one.
You're like my first cigarette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One always.
All right, so this is going to be our last song. This is a song called Moonshiner.
And I've been a moonshiner for 17 long years, and I spent all my money on whiskey and beer.
When somebody makes a record to
And I'll go
try and make money or like get notoriety or like make it, it usually comes out in the wash. You can hear it. I think over the years of like playing music and not playing music, I got to the point where I wanted to make this record just because. There's a part of this T.S. Eliot poem, it's called Ash Wednesday. Towards the end of it, he says something like, teach us to care and not to care. Teach us to sit still even among these rocks or whatever. And then it gets real beautiful and poetic. But I think to care and not to care for some reason strikes me, like to have just enough investment to make something beautiful or to make an impact, and then just enough detachment for it to not define you or ruin you, to just be able to walk away.
Thank you guys very much, and have a good night.